Welcome to our Loki spoiler review. This is our initial thoughts. We just watched the show this afternoon, and let's just jump right into it. Judah, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was spicy and better. It definitely was better than all the other Marvel shows.
What do you mean by that? Like all the other... Like better than WandaVision episode 1?
For sure, yeah. I mean, in fairness, WandaVision episode 1 was black and white, so...
Judah, you betray me. You don't even like the black and white episodes?
I like it, but it's stylized. It's not...
This one was stylized. We'll get into... We'll get into the whole episode. The title of the episode was Glorious Purpose. And I think that was like the theme of the episode throughout the whole thing. It wasn't just like it was one-liner from the Avengers. But the whole episode talked about different aspects of like having a free will, or is everything predestined? And this is actually a conversation I was talking to my friend. We're both Christians and we believe in God, but he believes more everything's predestined. I believe in more free will. And I think Disney's going to side with me at the end of this one. I do think the message of the show is going to end up being about Loki can change his fate, and it's going to open up the multiverse, and it's going to be all like that.
Multiverse of madness.
They almost said that at one point. At one point in the show, they mentioned madness as the multiverse word was on the screen for that clock.
Yeah, we also hear in the trailers he goes, "You put the multiverse in chaos, or you put the timeline in chaos." And now in this episode, we found they're one and the same timeline and multiverse.
What?
Okay, pause real quick.
No. We can't pause.
Okay. Oh, so this is no cut.
This is no... Well, I can cut stuff, but I'm not pausing because it's synced up.
Oh, don't actually pause. I'm saying cut this part.
Okay.
I'm
not cutting.
Oh, I am really upset. Did you have to say that to me? When Miss Minutes is speaking, that Lord... I've seen it twice. Oh, you've seen it twice. That Lord... She talks... She speaks about it as if it's the multiverse colliding.
The whole thing is about the multiverse.
I know.
I'm missing your point.
The whole multiverse theory in real life is every time you make a decision, it creates another branch timeline. So to prevent that, any other decisions that aren't the sacred timeline have to be clipped.
And so
that's their job. So they make sure there's only one timeline.
So they're predestining everything. The timekeepers.
They're deciding.
I knew that. I thought it was only for time traveling specifically, not just any everyday choice. Oh,
and that's also
so like
how like they were talking about he was DB Cooper and they let him do that, and that's why he was saying, "Why didn't you stop me? That's what you decide," and that's why it's kind of unethical that they're letting people just murder other people, but they said it's to bring out the good in other people.
And I like that too. That was one thing about Quiet Place, is like the different like ways people are okay with letting things happen, and like how your worldview affects that. So like in this show, the time, like in Eternals, we don't know why the Eternals weren't there to stop Thanos. They're gonna have to answer that. This makes sense. Like they weren't there to stop Thanos because it wasn't how the timeline works.
And
that's not their job.
In a way, they did help stop Thanos of the 14 billion outcomes. They made sure the one was the one.
Oh, that's
so it's no longer just chance. It's them deciding the fate.
That's interesting,
and it gives a good excuse to that poor writing.
What did you think of the sets and the lighting and the cinematography?
I loved it. Was that like 80s era?
It was all 60s, I think. Yeah, the video was 60s.
I feel like we're too young to know this.
No, it's 60s.
Yeah, I liked it, the whole vibe.
Yeah, I think it's a lot better. I just like it more than a lot of other like time travel shows. I think it's definitely ripping off the Umbrella Academy. I think it's definitely trying to like alter that. And I think the color palette throughout the whole, even the flashbacks were stylized, like when it was full on flashback in the plane.
I love the music they used for the flashback.
That was one of my notes, was the music.
Yeah.
You can also check me out on TikTok if that's not where you're from already. It's MCU After Party. I did a whole 10, or not 10, I did like 6 TikToks breaking down the episode.
I do not have a TikTok, and I've done 0 TikToks breaking down the episode.
So another thing they brought up was, does Loki have a soul? And he went through, he wasn't sure if he had a soul, but he also...
That was funny, though.
That was funny. It was a funny episode.
What if I were a robot?
What was your favorite What was your favorite joke or
it was
quip?
Easily the, what if I were a robot and I didn't know? Because Odin's lied to him so much, so he doesn't know who he is even. Because he believes of him, he thinks of himself as a monster.
Yeah, hearing, what's his name? Malfi?
Laufey's
son was interesting to hear. Have we heard that before?
We've heard Laufey, but we've never heard him be called
Laufey's son. Because no one knew that. But the time variance did. The time variance authorities. It was nice of them that they made a nice diverse group, considering they were just created. They could have all been Owen Wilson clones.
Oh, that would have been funny, though.
No, I like the whole, like, different cast. What was that guy's name at the desk? He was so funny.
He was pretty funny.
I like the judge character. I don't know her name.
Me neither.
Did they even say it?
I liked the character 1, character 2.
Yeah,
I liked the character that was, like...
Okay.
I liked the character that was in the show, that guy.
And they have a lot of, like, stuff to get done in the next 5 episodes, but I feel like we just got started. If this were a movie, it'd be going really slow. But honestly, for 1 episode, I feel like we did, like, so much happened.
Yeah.
That's why 6 episodes works well, but I'm also sad it's 6 episodes, because that's so short. Okay, so we talked about sets, lighting, and then, like, his guilt complex. So, like, I thought for the last 2 years when I knew, since Endgame, I was like, they're going to take this version of Loki. He escaped. He's a time variance. But I knew it was like the evil Loki, but they kind of resolved that right away.
Yeah.
By having him like fast forward through the last 2 years.
Through all the character
it works for people who haven't been caught up in the MCU, and it also works as him who's not caught up in the MCU, seeing all the way through his life. And I think he's 1 gonna try to change it. 2, I think he's gonna speed up and like become a good guy right away. Mm-hmm. And 3, it's like he did live through all of that. And so now he can be like a little bit more redeemed like he was toward like Infinity War. His character at the end of Infinity War was a lot more developed than at the end of literally before Thor 2 at the end of Avengers. So I'm glad they sped that up. And I also think it's interesting that he wasn't as evil as he was at the end of Avengers. Like this guy was murdering people, he attacked New York, but they made him feel like no, that is his mischief. And I thought that was interesting. Like that's how he feels like he has to. So I think it's going to be interesting to explore like all of that. Do you have any predictions? Mephisto confirmed.
No. So we've actually Mephisto not confirmed.
I think it's Loki.
Yeah, because it had horns.
The horns. I think.
No. We know it's Loki because they said that was one of the many attacks, and then we find out the person attacking was Loki.
It's actually confirmed.
Yeah, because they said this is like the 5th.
I thought I was clever, and I'm just watching the show normally.
At the end of the episode, he said the person who's been attacking is you. That's why they need his help. But they won't show his face.
I did call that when
his face. It's her face. It's Lady Loki for sure.
Lady Loki. I do think Fat Loki was the guy who got tased. That was my favorite joke when the guy got tased to death, and then Loki was like, "Take it." That was so good. And then the intro came up.
That intro had a lot of lore packed into it in a very simple cartoon.
I thought it had less than the like title logo.
Oh really? No, it talked about the past and how there was a multiverse, but there's not currently a multiverse. So they can't pull the whole thing in WandaVision. They're hoping for Pietro. Or Peter.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been him because the multiverse doesn't exist thanks to the Timekeepers.
I know. I thought Wanda was going to set up the multiverse the whole time.
But they said a Nexus level event could cause it to splinter.
So we can still go back? It seems a little anticlimactic to be like that show that was supposed to do the one thing, open the multiverse the whole time, didn't, and then we go back and be like, just kidding, it did. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I still love WandaVision. Just not the ending. But who does love the ending, honestly?
It was just anticlimactic. I was hoping for Mephisto.
Okay, so Mephisto not confirmed. I did think it was going to be Loki just based on like comics and other things. Other people's predictions. I was like, I bet we'll find out it's him in this episode. Or future episodes. And then finding out it was him at the end. There was like no action in this episode. But it wasn't even missing.
There was kind of action.
The very last scene. When he was trying to escape. Oh.
There was a little bit of that.
There was like a escape scene.
A fight scene, really.
Yeah.
Although, what do you expect from Loki? His whole thing isn't really fighting, it's escaping. It's
mischief.
Spelled it out. Yeah. You're really good at escaping after getting caught, what did he say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked Owen Wilson's character. I feel like he's trying to like use Loki to... I liked how he was trying to use Loki to hunt down the other Lokis. I think that's pretty clever. I think it's interesting that these people can just die.
That's true.
They don't like get regenerated or anything. They're just like...
And they're like fully human. They just died to fire.
Yeah, they just died to fire.
I mean, we see at one point in the trailers that I'm guessing Loki escapes at Pompeii with the when he like...
Yeah, Loki throughout history. That was interesting because he influenced that one event, which I didn't really understand, but you were saying that better than me. The plane scene.
Because he's old.
So he's already influenced history, but now he's going to time travel and influence history in a different way.
Double Loki. Well, could be more.
I think there's lots. That one shot where he's like, "What did you expect?"
And he's president.
I bet Loki. That's all Lokis.
Yeah. Is
that confirmed too?
We know they're Loki. We don't know if they're Lokis plural.
Loki. Loki confirmed. But who better to face off Loki in his own show than Loki? That's just perfect. And having Owen Wilson be his little counselor, he's the mentor Wanda needed to get through her trauma. He was really trying to help Loki out. I feel like he genuinely cared. I hope he's not the bad guy. I hope the coin, or wait, what's her name? The time.
Minutes.
I'm just gonna call her the coin. I hope the coin isn't bad. Although, what if she's the Time Lord?
I think she could be the one who remains from the comics.
Tell me about that.
He's who created, after the events, how that destroyed everything.
Mm-hmm.
The three just appeared. They touched over it. They touched on that. He who remains, he's who created them.
I read on the internet. That's where that there was an end credit sequence, and we watched all the credits through because I scrolled through them and I didn't see anything. So then we watched them all the way through, and it was just a clip of Miss Minutes saying like, "Hope you enjoyed your time in the TVA." It was nothing, but I feel like she's up to no good. Anyone can turn at any moment. Obviously, they're not good guys. All of the characters we met so far are just anti-heroes, and all of their own objectives.
Really, to Loki.
Yeah, but I mean, like, no one is doing the moral thing. Everyone's just doing their thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is another comment on...
the moral thing.
Loki's what?
Loki's got to learn to do the moral thing.
I don't think that's what this show's going to be about. I think it's going to be about you can decide your own destiny is going to be the show, because that's very Disney. And I think true in a less Disney sense. But also I think true. So yeah, I like seeing him feel guilt because I feel like he's immediately more relatable. I think they did a lot in one episode, even though we really were only in one location, but the sets were amazing.
Really well done. The elevator, it wasn't really an elevator, it just dropped.
Coolest time travel ever. But what else do you expect from Marvel? They just kill it.
There's been some Tenet references. Have you noticed that?
What?
There were some Tenet references. There was
I don't know if they're references or just blatant copy.
Well, there was music backwards. That might be a reference.
The inverse music.
I'm also assuming that because we see whatever the original Latin stone where Tenet was found, where the legend comes from,
mm-hmm.
we see that in the trailers. So that's interesting.
Wow, you catch a lot more than me. Did you find that online?
Maybe.
I knew it.
That was a while ago, though.
This whole thing is us just telling you what we saw online.
We're just putting it all together for you. Which is really all.
All right, so that's our episode breakdown for Loki. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm replying to every comment. We can have a conversation about the show. What do you think? What are your predictions? Did you have any more predictions?
I'm not, but I'm definitely gonna leave a lot of comments.
Great. All right, and we will see you guys in the next after party. Woo!